Hello humans and welcome to my very first review, Ratchet and Clank for the PlayStation 4. I gotta be honest with you guys, I've never done a review before and I don't really consider myself a critic. So why am I doing this then? Well, believe it or not, I wasn't really planning on doing a review up until I started playing the new Ratchet and Clank game. The story section is the main reason why I decided to do this review, why I stopped making my Let's Play videos on my channel, which I dedicated the past 1.5 years to. Has it really been that long? Okay, yeah, I stopped making them for a couple of weeks because of this review. I felt like I needed to get this out and off my chest. I'm really sorry to every single subscriber that has been waiting for more of my videos. I will return to them as soon as I'm done with the second part of this review. This is really important to me and my time is very limited. I did this review over the course of like 3 days or so, next to having a full-time job, which is nuts. It's nuts. It's fucking nuts. What can I say? I love doing what I do, but hey, who needs sleep anyway? It was important to me to get this review out before the release of the movie so I can go watch the movie and do a follow-up review about the story and how it ties into the game. I will not spoil anything story related from the new game in this video for sad reason. I will, however, speak about the original basic story of the PlayStation 2 game, so minus spoilers. I will also talk about the issues and the problems that I had with this game, and most of these issues are based around the story. Looking at you, TJ Fixman. Looking at you. This is gonna be a difficult one, isn't it? Reviewing and making points about something without actually talking about it. Well, let's give this a go anyway. I'm feeling overly confident today. Might actually be the lack of sleep. Actually? Yeah, no, seriously, I haven't slept in like 2 days. What? The second I saw the new Ratchet and Clank trailer, I lost it. A next-gen title for the PS4, this was gonna be huge! After the events of the last game of the series, Into the Nexus, lots of questions have been left unanswered and I was waiting, first in line, looking up news and informations every single day before the beginning of my workday, looking forward to what Insomniac Games' next installment would offer its fans. You've also got to understand the following to see where my arguments come from. I consider myself a hardcore Ratchet and Clank fan since my early teens. I saw an article about this game back when it came out, which I still have to this day, by the way. I knew instantly that I had to get myself a PlayStation 2. This game literally changed my life, my expectations and understanding on how platformers should work. Needless to say that this series is close to my heart, but it also got me into what I do and love today. That said, I have a lot of sentimental attachment to the franchise, hence why I've decided to do this review. There are certain things that I need to get off my chest here and now, and I will try my best to stay as objective about the game as I possibly can.
Disclaimer! Everything I say in this video is based on my personal opinion, human. Nothing should be taken too seriously. I know some humans have the tendency to get easily offended, so remember, take everything with a hint of humor.
Fuck my life. Ratchet and Clank is a science fiction action-adventure platformer that is based in the Solana galaxy. The original story of the first Ratchet and Clank is based on the characters Ratchet and Clank.
This review is going great so far! Aren't we learning so much today?
Ratchet, a young naive Lombax who works on planet Veldin as a mechanic with little to no background story given at that moment in time. All we know is that Ratchet is a Lombax, an ancient alien race that has disappeared from existence. Now, this is a very stripped down and simplified version, and I'm gonna leave it at this point for now because this is what the first game gives us to work with. So yeah, let's just all assume this is all we know so far. The robot XJ-0461, also known as Clank, who was assembled in the robot factory on planet Quatu. Originally designed to be a warbot, he turns out to be a defect for unknown reasons. Remember when I say unknown reasons, that's because we're not supposed to know anything about it at that moment in time. Okay? Okay. Chairman Drag, a block who owns Block Industries, also referred as the ultimate supreme executive Chairman Drag, and whose first name happens to be Alonso? Really? Huh. I never imagined Drag being an Alonso. Anyway, to wrap things up, Drag, bad guy, Solana Galaxy, in danger because evil.
Nice save!
Clank immediately learns about Chairman Drag's plans to destroy the Solana Galaxy and decides to make a run for it, to warn everyone about his intentions. During his escape, Clank's spaceship gets badly damaged and is forced to, well, crash on the nearest planet, which happens to be Veldin. Ratchet investigates the crash site and decides to take Clank back to his garage to have him fixed or to use his spare parts. I honestly can't tell. He's a cheeky little bugger in the first game, aren't you, lumbax? Ratchet finds himself unable to leave Veldin because
I'm missing a crucial component of the ship.
luckily Clank is equipped with
The robotic ignition system.
and offers the Lombax a ride.
And hence, the original adventures of Ratchet and Clank begins.
Well, kinda, but not. The core idea of the story stays the same, but is much more fleshed out. People who played the original game will find themselves recognizing a lot of things, like entire level layouts, weapons, events, and even characters. So, is the reboot exactly the same? Nope. It shows that the writers from Insomniac Games really put a lot of thought and effort into this reboot. And I gotta be honest, I was very concerned at first knowing that I would be replaying the first game. As I set foot on Novalis, I gazed over the level that was showing me how much in distress the planet is. The resemblance to the original level is striking. I found myself re-exploring every corner of it, taking moments while I was not drowning in a shower of grenades and ambushes to soak in its environments. I can safely say that this particular level is 90% the exact same as the original one. And you know what? I was okay with it. The level of detail that goes into the environment of the entire game is ridiculous and simply breathtaking. Ratchet and Clank is a really fast-paced game at times, and you simply cannot take in everything around you.
Because you're too busy staying alive!
Editing the footage for this review after playing it twice left me with like, look at it. Look. How did I manage to miss that? This is so cool! Yeah, you get the idea. In a day and age when game developers realize they can milk their old franchises over and over, relying solely on nostalgia or retro instead of actually new innovation. It was kind of understandable where my concerns came from, because, you know, they're my concerns. I guess that makes sense for me then, and not for you so much. But hey, I for my part was really concerned on how Insomniac Games would handle it. Would they just warm something up and sell it to us for another $60? Nope. Given the fact that this game is only $40 or £27 in the UK by the time I'm doing this review, I would consider this game a brand new one and actually pretty damn cheap for what you get. Now, it would be naive to say that Insomniac Games did not, in fact, do that, you know, building on nostalgia, I mean. It does, however, manage to pull it off by taking itself not too seriously and giving us just enough changes and new content to make this game feel like a brand new experience.
Thanks for your help.
No problem. See you in the next reboot.
However, I do have some issues with it, which I'm going to explain later as we get into the story part of the game. All in all, I'd say that the game is give or take 60% similar to its original PS2 release. Some planets like Eudora have been scrapped in the new story and new ones have been put in instead.
Well, guess the old think tank could use a good plumbing.
Well, as you would expect from a AAA PS4 title, the soundtrack is superb, and the orchestra supports the huge environments of the entire game very well without being too dominant. It makes you feel exactly what they want you to feel at all times during the entirety of the game. The Solana Galaxy is unbelievably huge, and no matter where you are, you can't help but to feel impressed by how futuristic everything is, down to its tiniest detail, even if it's just a mailbox in a city. The music really helps. Now, for my part, however, I found it a little bit too much. As amazing as the orchestra is, its constant epicness kinda made it too much for my taste. At the end of my Let's Play, I tried to remember a level song, but couldn't. I found it not being very memorable, unlike the original one. My favorite of which being Eudora with its pop-happy, upbeat synth. Maybe it has something to do with me playing the old game over 10 times, or nostalgia, or whatever, you know, but the shift in tone made it feel like it's, playful, alien-like soundtrack. Yeah, that was lost. Now, hear me out on this one. I played Crack in Time about 3 to 4 times, and it managed to combine both epicness and its typical Ratchet and Clank style soundtrack, which I grew very fond of. So, I don't know, guys, what happened between Nexus and a new game? Like, I don't know, I'm not gonna pretend like I know much about music or anything. I listen to it and I can simply tell if I like it or not. I'm not saying the new soundtrack is bad, no, not by any means. It's just that I found it not being very memorable. Hopefully this will change if I pick up the game again in the future. Yes. Okay, let me back up a little. The controls are very tight, and as we all know, I have a thing for tight Lumbax things. It really shows that Insomniac learned from its mistakes and experience with previous Ratchet titles. One of the very early changes introduced in Ratchet and Clank Going Commando was the ability to sway left and right while being able to shoot and jump at the same time. All of this experience really shines. One of the issues I personally had was that they swapped the controls for the helipack boost and shoot R1 or R2 buttons. I found myself picking up the game after a break, and I was instantly reminded of my mistake as I dashed across the rail into my doom, instead of attacking enemies. But I guess I'll let this one slide, as it's not really a game-breaking or drastic change. It's just, it takes a little bit of getting used to for old Ratchet and Clank fans. The gameplay in general is really intuitive and easy to pick up. During my second Let's Play, I told Cozy, one of my flatmates, to take over and play it. I was in Blackwater City at that time, which is, give or take, 1/3 into the game. Notice how I used the word told and not asked? I made him play this game against his will. And he liked it. And he was all like, yeah, but I'm really bad at Ratchet and Clank games and stuff. I don't know how weapons work and anything. It's like, I don't know anything about this game. Which I replied with, don't worry, you'll pick it up quickly. The dick that I am, I didn't tell him that I was playing it on hard/challenge mode up until later. I didn't explain much to him either. And guess what? To my surprise, it took him 10 to 20 minutes and he was owning the city. Yes, like seriously, Cozy, I'm impressed. And thank you for helping me so much by just helping me collect and gathering footage for this review. That said, I think I made my point. Bugs? Well, I don't know if they can be considered as bugs, but I found boxes disappearing when I was going close in with the camera. All in all, nothing big. There is, however, yes, one thing that pissed me off beyond belief. The hoverboard race on planet Reglar in Blackwater City? The trophy, faster than a speeding Armeoboid? Just fuck this hoverboard track. You're supposed to complete the Gold Cup in under 1 minute and 35 seconds, similar to the original game. Not only is it hard enough to pull it off by just being 100% perfect and precise, nope, the rings that's supposed to pop up to give you speed boost disappear in the second lap. Gone. I had to quit the game and reload every second try or so just to make the boost rings reappear. Keep in mind that these boosts are crucial in order to get the trophy. It's impossible to be quick enough without them. It really took me a lot of patience and swearing to get this. I eventually managed to get the trophy, and I can easily say that this one was the most difficult trophy to get in the entire game. My best time was 1 minute and 33 seconds exact. If someone from Insomniac Games out there is watching this, I implore you, please patch it. Just Please, for the sake of every player's sanity. If it helps, I was playing the game on version 1.02, using the pre-ordered PSN version of the game. Okay, now that we got this over with, let's move on. As expected from a Ratchet game, the weapons are one of the highlights of the game. You can expect to find a new one with each new level by visiting a gadget run vendor, usually found at the beginning of each level. The weapons are well balanced and laid out. Except for one, but I'll get to that in a second. Let me talk about the upgrade system first. Similar to the later games and the future series, you can upgrade your weapons by using them. The first playthrough lets you upgrade them up to level 5. With each level up, you can choose to use Raritanium to give each weapon a boost. You can randomly find Raritanium hidden in places. Some weapons let you upgrade them to increase the chance of enemies dropping more Raritanium. It's not too much of an issue if you don't find enough Raritanium or don't fully level up your weapons during your first playthrough. The later level, towards the end, spams so many enemies at you, you can just farm them for Raritanium and level up your weapons at that point. Once you reach your second playthrough and choose to play the game in challenge mode, the game lets you rebuy an upgraded version of each weapon. Now you can level them from level 6 up to level 10, rinse and repeat. Yay! More damage! More fun, I guess. Not including Ratchet's trusty Omni Wrench, there are 15 weapons to collect and choose from. 16 if you include the Bouncer as a pre-order bonus. Now, let me take a moment to talk about the Bouncer. The Bouncer is or was a pre-order exclusive weapon, and according to Insomniac Games themselves, it was only added into the game for that very purpose. When I bought the Bouncer pretty much at the start of the game, I expected it to be a silly, gimmicky kind of weapon, you know, something silly to just add lulz, and just, it's not supposed to be very good in general. At least that's what I thought. Oh. The second I used the Bouncer, my little Lombax heart filled itself with pure happiness, followed by a bitter aftertaste of sadness and disappointment, followed by several erections. I don't expect you to get it. It's a Lombax thing. Don't judge. This weapon is completely OP, especially for the beginning. I think it was one of my top 3 weapons because it was so strong. It should have been made accessible to the players around the last third of the game. You know, guys, Insomniac Games, are you fucking serious? Not only are you giving people a completely overpowered weapon, giving them a massive advantage in the game just to push your pre-orders, but you're also neglecting this super weapon to all your fans out there who may not have been in a fortunate position to afford the pre-order right away. Like, for realsies? Not okay! I pre-ordered the game twice, physically and digitally, not because of the Bouncer, but because I'm a massive Ratchet and Clank fan. Insomniac Games, I love you guys, like, I love you with all my heart, but this is low. We're scraping very close on an EA or Ubisoft level here, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one who sees this issue. Please, don't do that. It's really unfair. You know, just saying. What do you guys think about this, humans? Is it okay to give exclusive pre-order content or items to give other players a massive advantage over other players who buy the game after its release date? Like, or don't you see any problem with that? Or do you say, no, I missed out on the Bouncer and I find it really unfair? Or perhaps this is a more complex thing to you? Regardless, let me know down in the comments. I am very curious about your opinion. What else? Oh yeah, the holo cards. More collectibles, you guys. You have 2 different types of holo cards. The normal collectible ones, which you can randomly find scattered at random places, or dropped by enemies from time to time. The normal cards are random and each set consists of 3 cards. If you happen to be 1 or 2 cards too short to complete the set, you can swap them for 5 duplicates, making the whole process a lot easier and more manageable. Now, if you worry about not having enough cards halfway through the game, don't worry. Same as with the leveling of the weapons, you can farm them in the later levels if you really want to. Now, the second type of cards, these are the so-called Rhino cards, which are specifically hidden in certain places. Collect them all to unlock the Rhino in Blackwater City. Bravo, Insomniac! Thank you for not making me collect ridiculous amounts of money that requires me to replay the game 2 more times just to earn enough money to afford it. No, seriously, thank you. I sometimes come across as sarcastic, I just wanted to clarify. Next up, gold bolts. Yep, they're back. Collect 28 golden bolts hidden and scattered around the game, similar to the Rhino cards. Collecting them lets you unlock things like cheats, artwork, armor skins, and masks. Oh yeah, talking about skins, I'm kinda disappointed they didn't implement the old school skin from the first game. You know, the sexy shirtless Ratchet showing off his stripes while wearing his harness. I guess it would have taken a lot of time to remodel Ratchet from scratch with, you know, the entire fur, etc. But still, sad. Unlocking Challenge Mode gives you access to Insomniac Games' museum in Grimm's Garage at the very beginning. The museum is split into 6 different hangars. The more golden bolts you collect, the more access you gain in the museum. By the time I beat my first playthrough, I had already collected 28 bolts. I found myself dilly-dallying around for an hour. The fan service Insomniac has put into this museum is incredible and filled me with so much happiness, I can't simply put it into words. Now, I won't show you too much of the museum, as I feel like you need to earn yourself the right to see it. For a hardcore fan like me, this was truly a very nice surprise. Compared to the older games, you were only able to access the museum in a very specific way, either by bugging through things or clipping to walls, or I don't even know. Now, in a future series, the museum was made accessible by adding another planet to the map after you beat the first playthrough, which was fine, but I found the layout kinda confusing and not as visually interesting. Now with this was awesome. Seeing and recognizing the models from the older games really made it worthwhile. Thank you, Insomniac Games. Let me start right off by saying that I will not review or spoil anything from the story in the game. Why are you bringing it up then, do I hear you ask? To which I reply, shut up and let me explain. As I already mentioned like a million times before, the reason why I'm doing this review is because of the story. In all fairness, I should mention that I haven't seen the movie as of right now. By the time I'm doing this review, it's the 20th of April and I'm just finished my second playthrough over the last weekend. That said, I'm planning on reviewing the movie and its tie into the story of the game after I've seen it. At this point, I'm really looking forward to the movie, but I do have some concerns that I wanted to raise, hence as to why I'm doing this review. I really like to repeat myself, don't I? Okay, so this is gonna be a big one, so please bear with me, okay? Okay. You see, the future series of Ratchet and Clank were, in my opinion, masterpieces. Why though? Well, people will give you all kinds of reasons as to why this game is their favorite. But in my opinion, the story and the characters were one of the main reasons why I fell in love with the franchise. Why I became interested and passionate about game design. It encouraged me to be creative and do things. Now, if you create something of value like a painting, a song, a movie, or a video game that people can go and be like, wow, this is so cool, it's totally inspiring me to do my own thing, then you made art. Congratulations. Take your art diploma, on your bike, and off you go being poor. Yes, I know the word art is subjective, and no, I'm not saying Insomniac Games reinvented the wheel here. It's about the experience. I hear the pitchforks in the comment section already sharpening up on me. Okay. If you take something simple like a traditional game concept and manage to expand it with unique and interesting gameplay, add elements like amazing in-depth story that hasn't been done before, people will get a new experience out of it. It's not chess anymore. It's fuck knows what. They're now playing and experiencing your work. Do you get any enjoyment out of it? I don't know. Art is subjective and everyone can see or experience it from a different angle. But that's just my take on it. Again, I feel like I'm drifting off. Right, so the first Ratchet game was an amazing experience for me personally. Insomniac Games improved onto their mistakes in the second game and so on. Best example being the ability to sway. And it really shows in the new Ratchet and Clank title that they clearly know the genre and their characters because they had to go through this learning process. In 2007, Insomniac Games released its new Ratchet and Clank title, Tools of Destruction. This wasn't just an improvement or a step up over its processes. It was a whole new league, not just graphically speaking, not just because of the amazing gameplay, the overall improvement or the soundtrack. It was also the story that fucking nailed it. I played the Future series and after the massive cliffhanger in Quest of Booty, I was like, what's gonna happen now? Are they just gonna do a Half-Life 2 Episode 2 on us and then just drop the franchise? Nope. Cracking Time came along and this game blew my fucking mind. The ending of this game, the events that I'm not going any further into because I don't want to spoil it for people, like, seriously, go and pick it up, go play it, made me, Nico, cry. I am dead fucking serious. The events that happen in the ending just made me put my controller down and walk away from it. And that's coming from a Lombax who never cries, okay? This whole what about the Lombaxes and Ratchet's origin business that I've become invested in over the past 10 years at this point? Yeah. Fuck you, TJ Fixman. Fuck you for making me cry like a little bitch. For being such a great inspiration to many, including myself and all others around the globe. Thanks to people like TJ Fixman and the developer Mike Stout, who made an appearance on a Let's Play channel it's called Teal Game Master, which is one of my favorite Let's Play channels, so yeah, go check it out. My point being is that all these people are massive inspirations to me and part of the reason why I do what I do. Their actions and involvements with their fans really show that they care and love what they do. Let me ask you two things, TJ Fixman. What made you think it was okay to make me cry like a little bitch? And can I call you Todd? Yeah, I somehow became psychotically into this whole gray ending, storytelling kind of thing. But, you know, in a good kind of way though. Okay, I'm getting massively off topic here. The issue that I have with the storytelling in the most recent game is that some parts make little to no sense. Things feel rushed and not very clearly delivered. And this is what worried me the most. Now, what does that mean? Imagine you're going to the cinema and watch a movie, then at the end of it you look back and think, you must have been drifted in and out of sleep the entire time because there's so many holes in the story that you can't place it together at all. The Future Ratchet series had a certain structure that you were following. You were playing through a story bit by bit. With the new game, I feel like I lost 2/3 of the story. This, I honestly don't know what to make of this. I pray and hope, for the sake of the franchise, that it will make more sense after I've seen the movie. I have very high expectations. I pray for it not being a Hollywood safe, easily marketable, watered down kind of thing. One of the reasons why I love this series so much, it's because it's exactly not that. I'm praying to the Zonies that I'm wrong. If that's the case, then it would be a massive kick in the teeth for all the Ratchet and Clank fans out there. Insomniac, I get that you're trying to introduce a new generation of gamers to the franchise. I really do, and I hope you succeed. But please, do it right. If the game story ends up suffering because of the movie, then I hope Insomniac Game considers going back to making games exclusively. Telling the story of a Lombax, leaving the game as an art piece together, you know, one whole thing, instead of breaking it up for marketing's sake. Now, don't get me wrong, I am really looking forward to see the movie this weekend. This is what I was dreaming about since I was in my early teens, so, you know, no pressure. Yes, definitely. I bought this game twice already because I couldn't wait to get my hands on it, and I regret nothing. Definitely check out the game if you're new to the series. The game is an amazing experience, and I personally think that my favorite Ratchet and Clank would be Crack in Time followed by Tools of Destruction and Into the Nexus. Maybe that's also the reason why I'm story-wise a little bit disappointed, because I was looking forward to a continuation of the series going on from Into the Nexus, but who knows? Maybe Insomniac will consider picking up the old story and continue at some point. One can hope. If you were a longtime fan of the series and watching this video, please let me know in the comments what your thoughts were on the game. Maybe share this video with people you know who might also be a fan of this fantastic franchise. Did you encounter any bugs? Did I leave anything important out? Which is very likely considering I did this whole thing in like 3 days. So yeah, let me know in the comments. I might catch up on these issues in the next part. As I already mentioned, I'm planning to do a follow-up video once I've seen the movie, and I'm also gonna try to review the story and how it ties into the game. I might also mention things that I've missed out on here in the second part. Thank you to all you wonderful people who have been supporting me up until now. I really appreciate it. I would also like to personally thank Cozy for helping me record the game footage and the review. And LandoFolf for helping me out with the sprites. Don't forget to check out his other artwork, you'll find the link in the description below. Thank you so much, you guys. I wouldn't have been able to do this without you. Alright, I think this is it for me, you guys. I see you in the next part of this review. And as always, stay awesome to each other, humans.